How is all? Wednesday, we're a bit late.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the afternoon.
But that's fine.
That's all right, I know, but we like to get the videos done in the morning when we're fresher. My makeup hasn't ran for the day. My hair is fresh, everything.
It's bleeding tropic outside.
It's bleeding tropic. Bleeding tropic.
Yeah.
Yesterday we said we were going to talk about Dreamcast. And just before I do, today's t-shirt is courtesy of Johnny Barron. The Sky in the Ground. Sky in the Ground. Thank you, Johnny Barron. Enya and the team down now. Yes, nice spot for a bevy or six.
Tis.
And any of the pubs who want to send me t-shirts, it's Jumbo Anthony at IWA in
No, Jumbo Anto.
Jumbo Anto. Dreamcasks. Look, I suppose it's inevitable. We're the first of the auction platforms to have them at. It's going to have them in auction, so it's a big one. We've got quite a lot of them. We have sent emails to all the owners saying, look, we've so many of them. Normally we would have treated it on a first come, first basis.
Yeah.
First come, first served basis. But they were only released, and they literally was, I think, 2 days before the deadline. So they literally all landed at the same time. And we're now just turning it back on we'd normally cap it at, 20 or so or whatever. I don't know the numbers, what we've done previous years. This year we sort of said, look, we're going to talk to the sellers and say, we have so many of them. Do you want yours still listed? Again, there is no reserves allowed on them, but there is still quite a few. I think there's 15, 20 of them or something like that in at this stage. The Dreamcast do attract an awful lot of attention, for better or for worse. As I said to you yesterday, this is the 6th iteration, or the 7th. So just behind Katie's head there is the Redbreast Manor of Love. So the Redbreast Manor of Love was the first actual release from the Birdhouse. And it was done, again, the numbers vary. I've heard anything from 3,000 bottles to 6,000 bottles.
Again, it doesn't tell you.
It doesn't tell you, and it's sort of, we have to protect it. But that was the first actual release before any of the Dreamcast came along. It's a very highly rated Redbreast release, and I know a lot of guys have tasted it, enjoyed it. We've tasted it. I do like it. It's a bit, some of the real sherry forward stuff doesn't work for me, but that one's actually all right. So the first one that came out was the 32-year-old, and that was the Dreamcast. And you can see how, it was that. So this, on the second shelf here, is the current six releases from the Dreamcast family. The 32-year-old, the 28-year-old, 20-year-old, I made it the wrong way around there, that's 20-year-old, I think it's 20-year-old, 28-year-old, 29-year-old, 30-year-old, and this year's, as I say, 27. We spoke yesterday briefly about the packaging and what that means. So again, the first year was the one where they brought it out and the glasses weren't secured in the boxes correctly. They made a hames of it. The glasses came loose in transit. They banged off each other. They are a fairly heavy base on them. So once it came into the contact with the rim of the other one, it just smashed them up. So some of the bottles arrived with glass all around them. Some of the bottles didn't arrive intact. It really was a bit of a fest, shall we say. And on the back of that, Redbreast done this. They sent out what was called the apology kit. So this was for the 32-year-old. And again, there was a note in it, if only every flight could be a smooth flight. And again, they documented what went wrong and how they actually, for you to protect it. Firstly, please wear gloves to protect the glass from fragments, because even, as I say, they acknowledged to us. But within that, there was a tweed scarf, a bottle of Redbreast 12, and a pen. And was there a pin as well? I think there was a pin as well.
Some had pins.
Some had pins in them and some didn't. Again, can you only imagine the cost of sending that out as an apology kit? I know some less than scrupulous people sent in saying that their items were damaged. False claims. You imagine the poor insurance company, and they got apology kits when they sort of their items came intact and everything else. But anyhow,
we moved.
The 32-year-old was the start of it all, and then, as I say,
I'm
we've
not a fan of that one.
Subsequently had it. A lot of people said it was the best ever. It was the best ever. The problem being, and again, look at the timeline of when it was released, Kate. I mean, back then we didn't have the whiskies on the market that we have today.
No.
Back then, I mean, it really was a standout thing. There was nothing in the age profile even close to it at the time. There was very little whiskey of that taste profile out there.
True.
A pot still, really ringing that heavy barrel influence.
Maybe I'm just not a big sherry, Oloroso sherry fan.
Yeah, and
Maybe that's it.
And as I say, the question now stands is, now look what you've got. You can go to the shop tomorrow and you can buy a Redbreast 27-year-old. That is a phenomenal whiskey.
Yes.
You've had the Redbreast single cask, the Temple Bar one, the Sonny Malloy's, the Palace Bar one, the Friend at Hand.
There's so many.
There's so many good ones now. And again, at the price point they were at, that was 500 quid when it first came out. And again, it shows the value in it and how much. I mean, that was €500 when it first came out. This year's one was €580, and it's a 27-year-old.
And I really like it.
And you really like it. That's the port. That's a Katie trait. But again, how the price has changed, how people's perception of what value is has changed, because now, as I said, they've access to so many of these other different things. You've all the Bushmills now, the 30-year-old, the 33-year-old, Teelings with a 30-year-old, a 32, 37-year-old Teelings. I mean, none of these were on the market when that existed.
I suppose.
So again, it was a huge thing. So now it's shifted. And as I say, I've said this out loud, the Dreamcast project is nearly a better thing for Irish whiskey auctions than it is for Redbreast.
Yeah, that is true.
Isn't it?
Oh, it is.
Like we nearly get more out of it. We get more out of the marketing out of it. We get more out of I mean, we don't suffer any of the side effects that unfortunately Redbreast do when things go wrong for them.
Yeah,
I mean, how much bad and again, this is going to cost them money. What was the apology email this year that they said they were going to give you a discounted or first choice on a release that's coming out later in the year?
I don't know.
With the people that sort of one that didn't win or one that didn't get completing the payment, they got an apology. And again, there's a cost to that. And then there's the non-financial cost of our people going, fuck that. Yeah. Every time that they try to do something, it goes wrong on them. And they just, it starts diminishing the brand in people's eyes. So as I say, I think Irish Whiskey Auctions gets more out of it than the Redbreast product line does, and that's unfortunate. That's not where it's supposed to be. And I mean, I think it's great that we get a business out of it, but I don't like to see it at the hands at the detriment to another brand, and particularly Redbreast one, which is we all like. This year's one, what do you think, Kate? This year's one, cracking display, the black box. It's really
the black is really
now the only thing is it marks
something
so easily. Yeah. It really does. I mean, handprints or in and out of the box. One of the things again for the environmentals, the sleeves, the muslin sleeves that was over the other ones are gone as well. So again, they're reducing the packaging. Tells the story. I have seen one or two of the bottles.
That there is still a silly idea.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But I've seen one or two of the boxes with the damage up top as well.
Because
but again,
just trying to get them in or out of that
is difficult. And I'm always wary of marking the bottle or even the wax. Telling the story of how it came to be. Billy Lighton and Dave McCabe. Dave is building his own persona now within it. He's following the footsteps of a great master there with Billy. So I love to see Dave talking. He's so soft and gentle, and he's so passionate about his trade, and it's great to hear him. And Billy's just a man, not one of these men that you could listen to for hours.
That is true,
he loves to talk about his stuff. But again, wouldn't it be lovely to have a shelf of them all the books lined up?
Yeah, but then it's you have the other three in
the 5th edition, the 4th edition. So there's the 3. And what do you do then? Do you put
them alongside it?
How does that look on a shelf? And then you have the 32-year-old. But again, it doesn't look bad. I mean, look, it's not altogether that unpleasant. It's a nice one, isn't it?
And you're incorporating the black label of the Pedro Jimenez into the 6th edition, and it is impressive.
I mean, look, they are an impressive product line. But as I say, I think their day is nearly done. It's not been the positive thing that it needs to be for Redbreast brand or for IDL.
No.
So I think
But
they
listen,
should.
not everything runs smoothly, babe.
No. Just don't we know it? Don't we know it? So that's it. As I say, that was just talking about the Dreamcast. There is quite a few. We do have also bottle number 1 of this year's release. It should garner good attention. I know a couple of guys that are chasing it, and one guy in particular who's very, very passionate about it. So I know he's going to be chasing that as well. But there is quite a few, as I say. I think there's about 15,
Give or
20
take,
in
14,
around
15, yeah.
20 in it, and the guys have tried their best. Tomorrow we are back Thursday. I haven't a breeze.
No, me either.
No,
It's too warm.
it's yeah.
I love it, don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking the sun gods. But man, oh man.
What's that got to do with picking bottles off a shelf? It's tough going, is it?
I'm fetting.
Fatting.
I'm fetting.
Yeah. Well, we have air conditioning in here. That's the one thing about where we store the whiskies is always kept at a nice ambient temperature.
And then you leave this room and you're melting.
Yeah. Okay. You have air conditioning in the office. Jesus, what more do you want?
I know.
I know what you'd love to be. You'd love to be on a cruise now, isn't it?
It'd be nice.
Yeah. No, that's not happening. There's work to be done.
Yes.
Redbreast. Actually, just one more thing on the Redbreast. Look, Katie, look.
I know. I think it's
Look.
the stupidest thing in the world.
Look.
I'm sorry.
It's like something a second year project that, we're learning the glass blow. What are we going to do? We'll do this thing. It's the most bug-eyed looking Robin Redbreast you've ever seen in your life.
It's the most ridiculous thing.
And you put water up. Again, did nobody think about it? You're pouring water out of the birdie's bum into your glass, ruining your Redbreast.
Doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. And a Redbreast mixing jug and a Redbreast water bottle. And is there anything else we can model? We don't have Redbreast t-shirts because IDL are miserable.
Yeah,
They don't send up t-shirts for Anto.
Oh, babe, look, we've got the Redbreast sign.
A Redbreast sign. Is there anything else Redbreast we can sell this one? But we don't have any Redbreast t-shirts, as I say, because Redbreast don't send t-shirts to Anto. Jumbo Anto.
I want one of the like those light puffy gilets, the light ones that they have.
No, I'll settle for t-shirt. T-shirt's fine.
No, I want a gilet.
No, right. Okay. Right, we're back tomorrow.
You'll have to bring me to Cork.
That'll do. Bye. Good luck, lads.